students. Today I am going to take a practical class about how to auscultate the heart sounds or the cardiac sound. Now, before auscultating the sound, going to the practical aspects, let me recapitulate certain salient features about the heart sounds and where they are situated. Now, how to go for looking for it. Now, in your previous classes, you have been taught that there are basically 4 areas where you will look for the heart sound. Now, number 1 is mitral area, number 2 is aortic area, number 3 is pulmonary area, and number 4 is tricuspid area. Now, the anatomical location of all those 4 you have been taught, but just for a little bit recapitulation, at the mid-clavicular line, in the 5th intercostal space, about 8 to 10 centimeter from the diphisternum, you should look for the mitral area. Just beside the diphisternum at the 5th intercostal space, the tricuspid area is situated. The pulmonary area is situated at the 2nd intercostal space, just left to the around 2 centimeter left to the sternum, and the aortic area is situated 2 centimeter right to the 2nd intercostal space. Okay. Now, before directly going for the auscultation, you must go and look for the apical pulse or apex beat, which you know how to look for. You have been taught. You should go 8 to 10 centimeter from the diphisternal process at the midclavicular line. Just inside the midclavicular line, it is generally situated, but you should palpate like this. Your hand should be like this, and you should palpate with the ulnar border. Look for the apical beat, which is the downmost and the outermost cardiac pulsation felt by the ulnar border of your hand, and the quality of that should be that sound should lift your finger from the surface. So you should first look for the apical beat, and then you should go looking for the heart sound. Now let me go to the other aspects, bit more theoretical aspect of the heart sounds. What are the heart sounds? What are the features of heart sound? Sounds are basically about the valves of the heart. Now, how many valves are there? You know, there are 2 major valves, tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is between the right atrium and right ventricle. This is the tricuspid valve, and the bicuspid valve is between the left atrium and left ventricle. This is the mitral valve or the bicuspid valve. So this is the tricuspid valve between right atrium and right ventricle, and this is the bicuspid valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle. These two are concerned with the first heart sound, and there are other type of valve called as the semilunar valves. Number 1 is the pulmonary valve. Number 1 is the pulmonary valve. This is the pulmonary valve, and number 2 is the atrial valve. Pulmonary valve, this is the atrial valve, or aortic valve is when the blood is going from the ventricle to the arch of aorta, the valve is situated over there. This is the aortic valve. And again, when the blood is going from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery, it is the semilunar valve, which is controlling the blood flow. Now, first heart sound is associated with the bicuspid and tricuspid valve. Second heart sound is associated with the pulmonary and aortic valve. Now, let us recollect what are the heart sounds. Again, what are the heart sounds? What are the heart sounds? Are the sounds which are originated during the cardiac cycle. Now, these are the salient features of the heart sounds, which you should remember. Number one is they are one of the most important variable of cardiac functions. The heart sounds are one of the most important variable of cardiac function. Now, if we go for the quality of the heart sounds, they are divided into three parts: amplitude of the heart sound, duration of the heart sound, pitch of the heart sound. That means each and every heart sound has their own frequency, own amplitude, and own duration. Variation of any of these three factors will tell us about the normal or abnormal condition of the heart. Okay. Number three is, if we consider the component of the heart sounds, there are three components: the valvular component, vascular component, and the muscular component. Okay. Now, basically, in normal clinical examination, what we found is two types of heart sound. Number one is S1 or the first heart sound, and number two is S2 or the second heart sound. Now, S1, both of the heart sounds are more than 0.10 second approximately. S1 you can tell is 0.14 second, and S2 is 0.11 second. Now, S1 is concerned with the closure of the tricuspid and bicuspid valve, and S2 is concerned with the closure of the semilunar valve. That means the pulmonary and aortic valve. Now, the gap between S1 and S2 is the ventricular systole. That means when the ventricle is contracting, and the gap between S2 and S1 is ventricular diastole. That means when the heart is relaxing or the ventricle is relaxing. Now, what is S1? Now, you should remember one thing very clearly, that closure of the AV valve at the preliminary point of first heart sound. It doesn't single-handedly constitute the first heart sound, because closure of AV valve hardly takes a few milliseconds, but the duration you can see is 0.14 seconds. So it is a series of events constituted by initially the closure of the AV valve, then the reverberation of the blood to the ventricular wall, again going back, and the propulsion of cauda tendini muscle towards the right atrium when the ventricle begins to contract. Now, when the ventricle begins to contract, as you can see on that picture, when the ventricle begins to contract, the AV valve first goes towards the right atrium, the cauda tendini pulls it back, again the blood flows back, again goes towards the right atrium, and after a certain period it stops. So, this particular series of events constitute the first heart sound. Similarly, when the blood is going towards the pulmonary artery and the arch of the aorta, that means when the aortic and pulmonary valves are concerned, it's also not only constitutes the closure of the valve, but also takes into account the elastic component of the both the valves and the reverberating sounds. So these are the basically S1 and S2. Now we will be talking about S3 and S4 a little bit later, and now I will show you how to look for the first and second. Now let me go for the practical aspect for how to auscultate the first heart sound. Now Lutita is our patient, student, not patient, the person on whom we are going to auscultate the heart sound. Now I will stand just at the right side of the patient, okay, and I will ask him, Lutita, আমি আপনাকে দেখি, ঠিক আছে? What I have taught you, that you have been taught about how to look for the apical pulse. শুয়ে পড়ুন, এদিকে মাথা। So this is the sternocostal junctions, okay, and this is the first sternocostal, this is the second rib, third rib, fourth rib, fifth rib. This is the episternal point. So what I have told you, 8 to 10 centimeter, just left to it, palpate like this, okay, and you go for this, like this, okay, palpate the heart sound. See, here you can palpate the heart sound, okay. the outward and downmost point where you can feel the heartbeat or the apex beat. Now what we will do, there are two school of thoughts. One is you can mark it with a pen, or rather you better ask the patient or the person on whom you are looking to keep a finger on this. Okay. Now suppose, and number 2 is always correlate or corroborate with the carotid pulsation. Okay. Now how to look for the carotid pulsation? Now this is the sternocleidomastoid, this is the thyroid cartilage. Now you draw a line over there, okay, and you draw a parallel line over there. The intersecting point you can feel like this. This is the carotid pulsation. Okay. Now put a finger on the carotid pulse and put a finger on the apical beat or the apex beat, and you should look for that. Okay. Now again you ask the patient to put a finger on that, and now you start auscultating. Okay. You put the stethoscope over there, okay, and hear the sound. What you are hearing is the first third sound, and you should corroborate it with the apical beat, because S1 always corroborates with the apical carotid pulsation. Okay, S1 always corroborates with the carotid pulsation. Now what I am hearing is love do, love do, love do. Now you should keep on palpating the heart sound. Like first you go for the mitral area, you should be constant about how to auscultate all the 4 areas. That means all the 4 areas means the pulmonary area, just on the second intercostal space, just on the left of the sternum. Okay. If you cannot hear it, just do it like this. Okay. You can hear the sound. Okay. This is the pulmonary area where the second heart sound is more prominent. Okay. Second heart sound is more prominent on the pulmonary area and the aortic area, which is situated just right to the sternum on the second intercostal space. Okay. Because here the semilunar valve is situated. The one thing I must tell you, that sound not necessarily wherever you are getting the sound, the valve is situated like this, just behind that or posterior to that, because for both the aortic and pulmonary valve, the sound is going upward. You can look for the picture that they are transmitting upward. Okay, for both the aortic and pulmonary valve, the sound is transmitting upward. Similarly, the mitral sounds, it is transmitting towards downwards a bit posteriorly. Okay, and another area is left, that is the tricuspid area. Okay, tricuspid area is just left to the sternum. Okay. So first the mitral area, where you have palpated the first heart sound and the second heart sound, where the intensity of the first heart sound is more prominent on the mitral area. Now you have palpated the tricuspid area, which is situated on the right side, fifth intercostal space, just beside the sternum. Then you have gone for the pulmonary area, which is situated 2 cm from the sternum on the second intercostal space. Again on the aortic area, which is situated 2 cm right to the sternum on the second intercostal. Now in all 4 areas you are getting all the heart sounds, but the intensity may vary. The first heart sound is more prominent on the mitral area, and the second heart sound is more prominent in the pulmonary and aortic area. Now suppose you are not getting the sound in a patient. Here I am getting the sounds, but suppose you are not getting the sound, then what you will do? You will ask the patient to go left lateral. Okay. So this is the left lateral position. Again you go for the palpation of the apical beat, correlate it with the carotid pulsation. Then you look for the heart sounds like this. Okay. The mitral area again. Listen minutely. Listen for a bit duration. Listen the duration of the sound, the first and the second heart sound. The first heart sound is of low intensity but of longer duration. The second heart sound is of high intensity but of relatively shorter duration. Okay. Even if you cannot get this like this, you ask the patient to sit and lean forward. Okay. Then again you go for palpation of the first heart sound. Palpation of the apex beat. Okay. You get the apex beat like this, then you again auscultate for the first heart sound, correlate it with the carotid pulsation, and again go for all the 4 areas to auscultate the first and second heart sound. Okay. Okay. Now completed about the practical aspect of how to palpate the or auscultate the first and second heart sound. Now just for sum up process, then again so the process of heart sound formation takes place basically in these 4 areas. This is the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Now for the first heart sound, when the blood is atrium, when the ventricle is starting contract, now S1 and S2. Now then S1, S2, again S1, again S2, they form in this cyclical order. Now S1 and S2 is the ventricular systole, and S2 and S1 is ventricular diastole. So what happens? The ventricle is starting contracting. So blood, what they tries to do? They tries to do go back to the right atrium. The tricuspid valve goes back to prevent that, but up to a certain portion, they goes back. Then again they are pulled back by the chorda tendineae. The blood is again turned back to the right ventricle. Again the process is repeated. So the whole event starting by the process of the tricuspid valve going back to the right atrium, then again turning back to the right ventricle, and then ultimately closer, the whole process is first heart sound. Equally, the second heart sound is like when the blood is going to the aorta and to the pulmonary artery, the same thing occurs. The semilunar valve, the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve, this is the pulmonary valve, this is the aortic valve, when they are like this, so when they are trying to close, the starting point of that along with the elastic component of the arterial wall and the blood flow, they produces the second heart sound. So first heart sound, it's like this. First heart sound is of less frequency but of larger duration, and the second heart sound is amplitude and high frequency but of shorter duration. Okay, this is of shorter duration, this is of larger duration. Now this is generally heard as love. Okay, this is generally heard as lap. The first heart sound is heard as lap, and the second heart sound is heard as dup. Dup, dup. So how the sound sounds? Like lap, dup, lap, dup, lap, dup. Okay, like that, and they goes on a cyclical order. Now, what are the other heart sounds which we can auscultate? There S3 and S4. Okay, the third heart sound and the fourth heart sound. Now, for the third heart sound, what happens? When the heart is in diastole, during the ventricular diastole, occurs at 1/3 of the ventricular diastole. That means it is a gush of blood again coming from the right atrium to the right ventricle. Okay, from the right atrium to the right ventricle at 1/3 of starting of ventricular diastole. What happens? The ventricle is filling up during the process of ventricular diastole as it is relaxing. So it is filling up, and the gush of blood comes from the atrium to the ventricle and goes back. This reverberating sound produces the third heart sound, but it is a very low frequency, so it is generally not heard by the stethoscope. Only through the bell of the stethoscope you can hear this sound. But these sounds are, why they are important? These are important because they are accentuated in certain pathological conditions, where, like suppose the heart is of in a failure state. So in that case, the heart sound will be accentuated, and you can hear the third heart sound. Equally, the fourth heart sound is, it is because of the atrial systole. Atrial systole, when the atrium is contracting, the blood is coming, in a gush of blood is coming, so that produces the sound which is known as the fourth heart sound. Equally, this fourth heart sound is not audible by the stethoscope, only through the bell, and it is generally, it's a pathological sound rather, we can say. And if the patient has heart failure, okay, stenotic heart, in that cases you can hear the fourth heart sound. So basically there are four kinds of heart sounds. Heart sound, that is first heart sound, second heart sound, third and fourth heart sound, which you generally do not get other than in pathologically ill patient with cardiac conditions. Okay, and you can also hear certain sounds which are known as murmurs, which will be taught later, and like a galloping sound. If the high blood flow is there, so you can hear the sound like a gallop, is known as galloping sound. There are so many other sounds which are diagnostic of pathological conditions of the heart. Now another thing I must tell you, that another thing is known as the splitting of the heart sound. Now S1 has got two components. One is the tricuspid component, one is the mitral component. Okay, because there are two valves over there, tricuspid valve and mitral valve. So it has got two components, tricuspid component and the mitral component. Now although they are closing at the same time, in pathological conditions like in mitral valve prolapse, where the elasticity of the mitral valve differs from that of the tricuspid valve, there is a time delay between closure of the tricuspid and mitral valve. So here is pathological splitting of the first heart sound. Equally, second heart sound, it has got two components, the pulmonary component and the aortic component, but here is the split is physiological split, and you can jolly well hear it if you ask the patient to take a deep inspiration, and you can hear the heart sound, where in S2 there you can, the sound will be like lap dudup, lap dudup, like this. Okay, and when the first heart sound is splitting, it will be lalap dup, lalap dup, like this. So at the end During auscultation, the cardinal features, sir, you can hear the heart sounds all over the heart, and you should hear the heart sounds all over the heart, starting from mitral area, tricuspid area, then go for pulmonary and aortic area. The first heart sound is generally heard over the mitral area more prominently, and the second sound is more prominently heard over the pulmonary and aortic area. You can hear the other heart sounds if the patient has morbid cardiac conditions like heart failure, stenotic heart. You can hear the murmurs, and you should always correlate or corroborate the first heart sound with the aortic pulsation and the heart sounds. Again, the stress point is heart sounds are heard all over the heart. So when the examiner will ask you how to auscultate the heart sound, you will auscultate whole of the heart, and you will auscultate all the 4 areas to get the proper heart sound. And for the splitting of the heart sound, you should ask the patient to take a deep inspiration, and you can hear the physiological splitting of the heart sound. Now another tidbit, that the heart sounds which we are hearing through the stethoscope is of higher cycles. Like the first heart sound starts from 40 cycles per minute and it goes up to the 500 cycles. But like the fourth heart sound, only 20 cycles, which is not heard by the stethoscope generator. But even this low frequency heart sound can be recorded through an instrument called phonocardiogram. The instrument is called phonocardio. Okay, so best of luck. Thank you.